What is shaking, YouTube? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hello there, Majid. Good to see you, brother. Bent Oystein. Hope all is well. Let's get into this. We're going to have a quick talk about expectations versus realities. All right. There's a good question right now. What's going on? Who's in charge? What is happening? Is this going up or down? And I believe you're going to start hearing some funny stuff about levels. All right, so right now it's pretty obvious 100K is being a bit of a pain in the ass for us, right? This high 99s, 100,000 zone is definitely not wanting to crack, right? But it's already cracked several times. And the other truth is that the 90,000 zone is also looking like it does not want to crack, all right? So what do we take from that? Well, we're trading in a range, right? That's all we really got going on here. Flip up some quick support and resistance zones. All right, we now have this monster buying tail down here, down at the at 91-ish, okay? So I'm not sure if we're gonna come down into this 89K zone again. It's definitely possible. We've also got a pretty decent tail there as well. All right, not quite as big, My sound comes from deep of the oceans. Oh, I hope it sounds all right. What's going on, Builder Bob? I hope the sound's all right. So this is pretty much what we're stuck in between here, right? 99, 100K, and 90-ish, let's call it, all right? Just to be really sort of vague, right? Two big psychological levels. But I don't think these are the key levels. All right, well, to the low it is for sure, but to the high, that's not the key level. You know, the key level is really at the top of the range here. So we're looking at anywhere from around 106-ish to 108.5-ish. It's a big, nasty zone there. We've come into it several times now, and it's just very, very challenging to get above that 109 into that 110 territory, all right? So this for me is it's definitely a problematic zone here for us. But I think if we get above that, we're going to have more problematic zones above, all right? So just relax, stay calm, everything's going to be fine. We are just going to play this the way that we always play it, which is professionally and calmly, all right? So again, we've got this monster zone down here. Something happened to that because it's definite. No, that's it. Yep. Big zone here. All right. Big buying tail, which is the sort of naked wick from Friday there. Sorry, from Monday. All right. We could hit that for sure. Do we need to? It looks like we should. All right. We don't need to, but it really looks like we should. We dug into it a little bit there on Friday once again. And then now we've just kind of been inching our way downwards, putting in these internal lower lows and lower highs. All right, let's take a peek here at volume profile and just see if we can get some bearings off of that, because it is quite telling. And then we'll just think about these volume profiles a little bit. All right, so on Friday, it is a relatively balanced looking day. All right, point of control in the middle. We did get good rotation from the high to the low. All right, so it is pretty balanced looking. The volume was a little bit thin, but it does look like it was a bit of a balanced day. And then we end really low on the day. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's just the weekend warrior, so I wouldn't really pay it too much mind. But you can see how this volume node here really acting as a resistance there, all right? But it's, again, low volume weekend, right? So you see the M formation. If you want to trade Sundays, you know, go nuts. I do not, but you can. So that's what we're looking at in terms of volume profile. We have a strange balanced day, very thin. A very thin looking day, but you could also say it's a balanced day. So I couldn't argue with you either way here. If you're looking at a thin day with not really a trend, it got rotation from the highs to the lows. But if you look back here, for example, you've got this big volume node. Here you've got this obvious big volume node, and here it's really quite thin. All right, so this could be a little bit tricky to read. All right, but basically all we did was sweep the previous day's highs and then come down and sweep the previous day's lows, which is a sign of indecision for sure, and that this range is going to be problematic for us. Right now we're holding at the 95 level. The 100 is not giving up. And then we close really low, all right, after taking that sweep. So this could really go up. Do you ever play with volume profiles on higher time frames? Oh yeah, I do. Absolutely, Builder Bob, but not session profiles. So this is the session profile, and then we can take a quick peek at the volume profile here for the range that we're in, which is always a good thing to do. So I don't think that there's any cause for panic. All right. We're going to watch out how this plays right now. We've got some serious levels above us now, which can be pretty problematic. this zone here has a little cluster of weird naked points of control. All right, they're all pretty much from the same day, but you've got time point of control, TPO point of control, you've got the volume point of control from EXO, and you've also got the point of control here on your trading view. All right, and that is a, I would imagine it is a pretty reactive zone here. All right. Okay, maybe gets front run on the beginning of this high volume node here, or maybe it can wick through it, hit that 0.5, then turn back around. Definite possibility there. All right, and then we've got the naked point of control from Monday. We've got the TPO point of control way high as opposed to the volume point of control. All right, which kind of makes sense because of this obvious time spent here, right? Good consolidation there. And you've got this nice volume node here. So if you're looking for it to go all the way down to 93-ish, it might not. It might stick at this 95 level, maybe come down here and just bounce off this naked point of control. But it's going to be very important to watch how Asia opens up this evening and see what kind of inducement move they start. All right, so big closing week range on Friday. And we got to see how this stuff plays out. But those are going to be the two initial zones I'm looking for early in the week. It's going to be 97, 6-ish. And then down here, I'm pretty interested to see how this plays out. So let's take a peek at how this week sort of played out. All right. And what we need to do now to start feeling more confident. All right. And what I would say is don't worry about the naysayers and the, you know, or this is very bad, this is very good, this is very bad, this is very good. The market's going to move in the direction it's going to move pretty much regardless, unless we have catastrophic events. So some things may force us to move quicker, but for the most part, don't fall into narratives about what has to happen or what needs to happen. So right now we're just ranging in between this zone in a much larger zone, right? If we think about what's going on here, it does look like we've got a bit of an accumulation phase going on here, right? With these massive buying tails here, there's a lot of pressure to the upside once we get down into this support zone down here. And you can clearly see that several times we've come down and we've created big tails. Okay, this one I know went all the way down to 89, but looks like they're protecting that zone of 89, right? Now, I'm not saying that I'm 100% bullish on this because, again, we're just trading in a range. So that's all we're trading here, right? If we can catch a pullback here to maybe a big fib level, all right, into this golden pocket, we've got that TPOC there. We've got the naked point of control quite a bit lower around the 786. We sweep the lows of Friday and then move to the upside, and then we're going to most likely get some sort of reaction here, right? And you can almost see that it's starting to print a story here. You've got resistance, some support there. You've got a little bit of support here. We go back in time, you can see that this zone is definitely it's stacked here. All right, so I'm looking for some sort of reaction here. Let's see how big of a reaction it gets. Ellie took a Sunday short from London high, took profit at midnight. Very nice, very nice. Very good. Hello there, Mr. Unknown. Good to see you. All right, so those are the two zones that I'm really looking for. All right, and now let's just kind of go over this volume profile business and see what we're thinking about it now. here on the Monday, we put in this massive range, right? And we got a B formation, which you could actually call a thin day as well. I would more look at it as a thin day, trended up, not too much rotation. It rotated from the downside and then just never really turned around from the high. So I'd call this a thin day personally, with a very high close. So these high closes on a thin day will generally set you up for a bit of a pullback to recover some business going on in the trending day, right? Which is exactly what we did. We came down. This was a vector candle, right? Reclaimed that. We have not fully reclaimed this yet, right? So this candle into this point of control is still very, very juicy. It's mainly been recouped now. So more than 50% of it has been, so it doesn't have to come down here again. But if it does, that'll be a great zone to be looking for on this time point of control. You can see that that vector candle will be pretty much all eaten up if that happens. Then the next day we put in an inside bar. And once you get that inside bar, there's not much you're doing in terms of trading for the week range, all right? Because now you've established your initial balance high and your initial balance low after this open, all right? But how could you look to take advantage of this stuff? Well, pull your fibs and start looking for... I've learned a lot from you recently. Excellent, Ali Rosie. Right, and you can start looking for levels to play off of this. Also look for your vectors, right? Look for points of supply and demand. Look for order blocks. Obviously here you're not going to see an order block, but if we move it down to a lower time frame, you might be able to find some order blocks, all right? So here, still nothing, but this starts to look like one of those strange little demand zones here, right? It's not typical, but you have a rally, then you get this little pullback here candle. And this is going to be your base, and then that's going to be your rally, right? So it would look something like so, this zone, right? You can include both these candles, and then price comes back in, hits it, and goes. If we go down even on lower time frames, you're going to start finding your little order blocks in there. Right, you might want to check this on the 5 minute, not go directly down to the 3, but you see you've got an order block here. And if we look to the back there, there's our high. So that would be a order block here. No, it's not, but this would be. So that's going to be your order block right there. On the 5 minute, I'm sure you'll find a better block. In fact, let's check the 5 minute. There's your order block on the 5 minute. It's right here. Nope. That's it right there. It's about the same, actually, 5 to the 3. All right, gets run through and then comes back and holds and goes. All right, so you had fair value gap, order block, you've got supply and demand zone, all kinds of stuff here. What is going on, Zuluon? Good to see you, buddy. Pardon me. So that's how you would really look to play this out, right? After you get such a big move up, you're expecting a bit of a pullback, right? Then you get the inside bar, which closes pretty high up. And this is the day that everybody was complaining about the 80% setup, which I love. All right, this was the day that everybody was disappointed by the 80% setup. And then nobody talks about it for the rest of the week because this one plays out and then this one plays out. And so you got 2 out of 3 in 1 week. That ain't bad. 66% on the week. So after this First inside bar day happens here, and this is a relatively balanced day, right? And price comes back and closes relatively low, but not overly low. And what you're going to look for here just now is rotation to the high and the low of a balanced day. And price comes down, comes into the low, and then goes back up. And then you put in your second inside bar day, and it's going to be the same thing. When price closes up, well, it goes to the lows here. Right off the bat, it's at the lows, and then it rotates to the highs. You look to trade that to the downside. Comes into the support zone here. Oh, what's the 80% setup? It's a value area setup. But don't worry too much about it. We're going to talk more about that. We'll talk about it today, actually, in the VIP stream. Bounces off here, and then you're looking for it to potentially get back up into this value area zone, or at least go up and test it. But it's getting pretty late in the day, right? Go get a life. No need to trade 24 hours a day. And again, you get a day now, which finally we break some lows here. And what we're thinking of now is, again, a potentially bearish day here. And why? Because we've got this P day here, P formation. All right, point of control is really high. You've got a lot of volume trapped in at the bottom here, and you've got a lot of volume trapped at the top here. And then we get our close really low on the day, so you're expecting a bit of a bearish scenario. All right, but it doesn't mean it's going to open and just start tanking. So you have to be very aware of how price starts to move during the day. And then as it comes up and sweeps the highs, you can be looking for a short up here. All right, so while everybody's getting pretty excited up here, you know, you really shouldn't be. And price rips it down. So we have now a balanced day for our closing range of the week that has closed very low. All right, so if we can finish around, let me get the stuff out of here. If we can finish around Friday's close, it'll be a bit tough to tell what's going to happen because it's going to play around with it a bit and then make its move. If we close relatively close to the previous day's low, which is Friday's low, all right, we can look for price to shoot back up, hit Friday's close, get a reaction off it, and then maybe trade up into this point of control or into a fib level. To look for a potential short. All right, so we're already bouncing off of this 382. That's a big sign of weakness. All right, for the day. Let's see if we can get above that and maybe hit off of this point of control, front run that 0.5, or maybe even hit into it. If we take it, look for this golden pocket. There's not much volume here, so it's a bit of a sketchy golden pocket, but there is this high here. All right, so we had that low, we had this pullback, so it's a decent liquidity zone for us to go up and sweep. But again, there's pretty low volume here, so could be sketchy. What do we got here? Stock market's so red and dip. What do you think? I think that, you know, when everything starts getting this kind of scary for people, it's a good time to buy. I'm not saying to buy, but what I'm saying is most people get caught on the wrong side of the market, right? So think about that. If we look at the NASDAQ here, that again, and don't worry, Majid, I took care of that, and I didn't even have to really take care of that. VPNs, baby. Let me just hide this for a second. Get out of here. Okay, if you look at the market, it's really doing the same thing Bitcoin is doing for the most part. Okay, so since we got that great pump Trump started happening, right? And then we put in a high and we've just had a pullback, and now we're just forming a range here. That's all really that's happening. So I wouldn't call this very bearish, right? I know that when the market dumps like this, people start making a big deal out of it, right? But it's really not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, it's a huge dump in a day and people are crapping their pants, but it's not a big deal. We're just ranging. We're just range bound, which is not overly typical on the NASDAQ, let's say, or the, you could look at any of the indexes. You could say the same thing, the SPX, the Dow Jones. None of them really range that much. So when you start to get these sort of pullbacks like this that are lasting for over a month, if you look historically what happens, they just sort of will continue on their merry way up. So we could definitely come down a little bit here still and then turn around. It's not much of a pullback here, but it is a pretty good sign to see all of this consolidation here. You've got this old high here holding pretty much. All right, we're building new support and resistance zones. So yeah, we need a massive correction, right? They say it's Trump effect. Yeah, it could be, right? Trump could be scaring the bejeebus out of people. But if you look at what the professionals have been talking, sorry, I keep hitting my desk, guys. Everybody's been waiting for a pullback for way longer than Trump's been in or was even elected. So, like Warren Buffett started selling everything last year way before the election because you can smell it needs to be corrected, right? Let's take a peek at the week here, the weekly chart. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. The last time we had any significant correction, and does that look significant? Not really. We had a little pullback here and then it ripped, and then we had a pullback and then it formed that W and ripped back up. So honestly, this November 2021 crash that lasted about a year is the last real pullback we've had, and we should be looking for something like that. All right, so it would be very healthy, but there's some really weird things that we're gonna have to take into consideration here. So I'm not overly political, like I don't overly formulate opinions based on politics, all right? But this Trump thing, we do have to kind of be aware of what is going on, not necessarily with him and Elon and stuff and whatever, but they seem to be creating a little bit of unemployment, all right? They're closing down USAID. I believe USAID is going to be pretty much done. So that's thousands and thousands of NGO, useless tits on a log employees, pardon me. If you work at USAID or worked at, sorry, but not really sorry, but a bunch of useless bureaucrats, which that's what most government employees end up being, right? I know that the government needs employees and we need bureaucrats for some stuff, but if they now start going into the Department of Education, the Justice Department, all these different departments, and they start cutting a ton of fat, they're going to create a lot of unemployment, which is generally seen as a good thing for the market. It's bad for the economy, but it's good for the market because that will push Powell's hand, right? It'll force his hand to start that quantitative easing that everybody loves to talk about now, and decrease rates and start making money cheap again for the big corporations to see if they can absorb some of these lost federal jobs. Which personally, I would say don't do it, man. Never hire government employees. um, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Look like NASDAQ is still ranging, which is good performance. Still. Yeah, I mean, the NASDAQ, it's always good performance. Yeah, remember to like and subscribe and join our Discord group. Link is in the description. Yeah, I mean, that's really all it is, right? It's a range. And if we look at Bitcoin, that's all it really is too. So all of this talk about, you know, the end for Bitcoin and this for Bitcoin and that for Bitcoin, it's kind of like just, you know, hate to say it, but it's clickbait, and I'll do it too. I'll put on some clickbait titles. Is this the end for Bitcoin? 120K next. I mean, we're just trading in a range. So that's all we're doing. So for people to get overly excited and need these, you know, for example, in yesterday's stream, people asking about what I think is going to happen in the market. I've already told you, we're just in a range. So that's what I think is going to happen. If we break this and we start pushing to the downside, then yeah, we'll go down. If we break it to the upside, then, you know, you'll know what I think. But if we're down here looking for longs, if we're down up here looking for shorts until it breaks, right? That's the beauty of trading ranges. You buy from the bottom, you sell at the top. Every time it hits, you do it, as long as you get a relatively decent signal to get in, and then you're going to lose one trade. At the end of the range, it's going to break and you're going to lose one trade. And that's about as great as trading gets, you know? Really, it really is, because these moves are huge. All right. This is the beauty of Bitcoin, is that it loves to stay in the same range for months at a time. Let's even be sort of look at that 15% range, and we're not counting all the big wicks. All right. That's fantastic, man. Fantastic. All right, from the bottom, November 27th to the top, December 16th. That's like not even 3 weeks to the bottom, December 30th, you know? And so it's just this huge range that you could potentially be taking advantage of. Let's say from this low, we come up to this high. That is December 31st. Look at that, 1 week, huge move. Get the rejection 1 week. And then we finally come back up here. That took what? Let's say from the low, January 13th, January 20th, 1 week. So you can trade these ranges and get massive gains in 1 week. It's really the best thing you can do. And your stop losses are going to be fantastic. Your risk to reward ratio is going to be fantastic. I think if Bitcoin, pardon me, tongue got a little bit weird there for a second. I think if Bitcoin goes down to grab the liquidity, it will distribute to 150 or maybe 200. Oh, that is a bold statement. I would stay away from that talk. Ellie Rosie, I really don't know where this is going to end, but anything is possible. You know, anything is possible. And what I do like about this zone, this is why I'll tell you that I think that this is accumulation and not distribution, and why I'm still relatively bullish on Bitcoin. First of all, market structure is bullish. That would be the first point. Secondly, we haven't really done anything at the highs that would start to kind of change my mind. And this wick so far, I'm really liking it. It looks like a spring so far. All right. Now, yeah, it got caught up here, but it did put in a new high, and then it comes back, doesn't get taken out. So it's setting us up for a big liquidity zone that we can sweep and then run, or we've already got what we need, and we're just going to come back into this zone down here, into that crazy buying tail, and move on. Oh, and here come the predictions. I think 120 to 140 is more realistic. Full-time Killer says, if I had learned from you earlier, I will stay away from alts and just focus on BTC. Well, thanks, Rosie. Ellie Rosie, who one day we're going to figure out who Ellie Rosie is in the Discord group, but Ellie never says. All right. Like, again, okay, I love trading ADA. ADA is one of my favorite alts to trade. But I trade it, right? I don't hodl it. I have a small ADA bag, but it's nothing like if I lost the keys to my wallet, it wouldn't make a difference to me. So yeah, no big deal. But if you look at alts, they're very fun to trade, and you can get huge moves out of them, right? Like something like this move here. Okay, like so look, Monday price opens up, you put in a pretty dodgy day here, dumps and pumps. All right, so your big move, you can kind of think about it being over for the week already. All right, when you see these massive dumps and pumps, you're looking for that usually more on like a Friday or a sometimes even a Wednesday. But on a Monday, just get that crazy dump and pump, all right? And the weird thing is that we've been coming down for days on end. All right, I mean days on end. We've been coming down, coming down, coming down. And then you finally get this crazy dump and pump, which price ends up putting its high on the day. Okay, your point of control is relatively central. So the most you could call this is a, you could argue that it's potentially a balanced day, but I would definitely say it's a very thin day. It's very thin volume. It's got a huge range. And here's your point of control and this high volume node. So when price opens up and starts dumping, that's what you're going to be targeting to trade it. You don't care. It doesn't matter what Bitcoin is doing. All right. Let's forget about the BTC dominance. Let's forget about when the alt season is starting. You don't need that. All you need is volume and volatility to trade, right? So if the alts have volume and volatility, which you're always going to have like 10 or 12 of them that are very volume rich on any given day and have volatile movement that you can easily pick out something to look for. All right. Like, I mean, this is pretty simple, straightforward. London opens up at this high volume node and just starts ripping to the upside. All right. Do we think it's going to come up and take the Asia high? It might. But if you just start thinking about normal sort of everyday things, all right, it also loves golden pockets. You've got this little cute, tiny little volume node right there. It's so small. It's ridiculous to think about, but there it is. You've got an order block right here. All right. And then it rotates all the way back to the bottom of the day. So after a huge move, you're not expecting a huge move, right? And that's it. Wake me up again in March for Bitcoin preparation, says Ellie Rosie. Yeah. So it all depends on what you're doing, right? If you're just buying stuff and holding it, then yeah, that might be a bit of an issue. But if you're trading it, then it's no problem, right? If you're looking at trading an altcoin on USDT or USDC, they're fine and they're fun to play with, right? And this is a coin that nobody gets excited about trading anymore, Ada, but I love it. It's very respectful of TA. All right, very respectful. So now we get a inside bar balance day, right? It pulls the exact same stunt that Bitcoin pulls. Then you get a second inside bar day. All right, bounces off the value area high here at around New York Open and starts to dump. You're looking to target the previous day's close, the previous day's low. All right, it's the same as anything else. They trade exactly the same. The big difference is, let's say you caught this order block / golden pocket move here. You get in a little bit late because you're conservative like I am. All right, you could have traded this down for 7% on Tuesday. Let's check out what Bitcoin did on Tuesday. Okay, so Bitcoin, well, we'll take it from the high to the low. Why not? All right, 5.56%. So, and not as easy. You know, that Tuesday was not as easy. Not as easy to trade. All right, so yeah, it's fun stuff. The alts, man, they're fun. But if you think you're going to buy an alt bag for $1,000 and be a billionaire by the end of the bull run, then good luck. Good luck with that. You're going to have to choose very wisely. And I'm sure it'll happen to somebody this bull run. But who? I don't know. I really don't know. All right. So if you got $1,000 that you could just piss away, I would say, oh, hopefully you got a lot more than that and you can buy several of them and hope that a few of them 100x or 200x. But those days it's not really the same anymore. That's the way I see it playing out. But remember, the influencers are trying to get you involved in crypto. They don't care about your bag. They care about their bag, right? So that's why I don't promote coins. I'll never promote a coin. I don't promote crypto. I do trade it and I like trading it. It's fun trading it. It's quite volatile, but again, there's lots of things that beat crypto last year. So remember that. Lots of stocks outperformed lots of crypto. It's not and you're talking about in quotation marks a bull run. All right. 15% range sounds really decent if we trade it consistently. Yeah. So one of the problems with that full-time killer is that instead of, you know, this is why I talk about drinking the Kool-Aid and how when you're coming from weird influencer spaces, you're on the Kool-Aid. So when you get off the Kool-Aid, you know, it's really not that difficult to look back at Bitcoin and say, okay, the majority of Bitcoin's time is spent in range, right? And Bitcoin puts in these huge ranges a lot, like 15, 10, sometimes 20% ranges, and they'll stick in them for months. The problem is when you're up here is that everybody's thinking about 130,000, 250,000. Michael Saylor starts saying dumb shit and people start getting excited. And then when you're down here, it's the exact opposite, right? The end of the world is coming and this is really bad for Bitcoin. But it's not, it's just trading in a range. So the key is to look at it objectively and not to start thinking about 250,000 or 35,000. You know, you're in a range. Now, if this dumps and retests and continues down, then we start looking for other support down here. And when it starts dumping, let's say the bull run is over and there really was no bull run this year, volume hasn't come in yet. It's going to do the exact same thing on the down move. All right. Let's take a peek at the daily chart. It's just the way it operates. All right, price comes down, falls into a range, not that long, but it's a couple of weeks, dumps again, ranges for a couple of weeks, dumps again, ranges for a couple of weeks, dumps again, ranges for a couple of weeks, comes back up, and now you put in this big range here. All right, and it's here from January 22nd till May, months and months and months. And you're pretty much trading in a 39% range. All right, let's get a little more. We'll hop off the wicks here. Let's say a 26% range, right? Now, you can't confirm that really until about here, but you can catch a low and you can catch the big high, which then turns into a killer trade. And then you're not just thinking about the range, right? You're thinking about what price is doing in here. I know I've talked about this a lot in the Discord, but this was that Gartley on the one-to-one extension. That was pretty simple. So you see you're in a range, you break the range. You're assuming first and foremost potential fake out. Hit that one-to-one extension, which was pretty much to the dollar. And then price comes on down, right? So it's always just going into these ranges, drop, range with a little bit of ascending sort of action, drop, ranges. All right. Months of just ranging. That's what it does. Don't FOMO, crypto is future. A lot of people laughing. I'm not sure what I'm saying here. Not trying to be funny. No, I got that, Ellie. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right, Ellie Rosie, what's your name in the Discord? I'll find out. I'll find out. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. The alts are a little bit trickier on the ranges. All right, that's what I would say. But the alts are a lot more fun to day trade than Bitcoin is, or to scalp, because you can get these mega moves, right? Like let's take a peek at XCN here. Look at that trade on yesterday morning. You see, they're all the same. They all respect technical analysis, but they have their own little flavor, right? Some are going to like sort of quarter numbers more, so they might be a little bit more into Gann, but for the most part, all crypto loves fibs. You can look at your vector candles. Your volume is always going to be essential, all right? Always. So yes, everyone don't FOMO. This is very true. All right, now what's your name, Ellie Rosie? Yeah, no FOMOing, and especially, don't FUD as well, right? Don't buy into the fear, because now everybody wants like opinions. What do you think is going to happen? I've already told you. I've been telling you for weeks we're trading in a range, right? So until this range breaks, what I truly believe is going to happen is that we're going to just be trading in a range. That might be annoying as hell for you to hear, but that's the reality of it, right? Why would I start making up things up at 125 or 250 or start looking at 70K? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's Ellie Rosie in Discord? Huh. All right. I can't believe you admitted it finally. All right, Ellie Rosie. Well, I'll find you. So that's really it. It's just a range, right? So we do have a pretty substantial level we're coming into on the daily sort of time frames here, especially on the volume profile. So like 30-minute-ish, we have all of our, but I'm not active. Well, you should be, Ellie Rosie. We miss you in our lounge chats. So that's really it. I'm looking for the previous day's low right now, the previous day's high. See if maybe tomorrow, which is this evening, right? Asia opens up. It would be fantastic to see a sweep of that daily low if we're trading real close to it, and then start coming up. Grab a quick day trade on up to the Friday close level, see if that can break. If it can't, then we might be looking for a little bit of a down move, right? We're doing a 1-month VIP giveaway if we get 15 likes by the end of the stream, everybody. Come on, hit that like button. You may as well subscribe if you like it too. Yeah. Don't forget to join the Discord, where we've got a resource center. We've got TA by the moderators. Each moderator's got his own channel. We put up TA. I haven't put up TA in a while because there's no need to. It's just a range, people. Just a range. All right. Yeah, so that's really it. But yeah, don't think about the naysayers and the yay-sayers. All right, look, NASDAQ is just doing its thing. You can catch mega moves on this every day. If you don't want to trade futures and you're looking for something a little more relaxed and casual, then just go for the normal NASDAQ. Just go for indexes, sorry. If you want to catch great scalps and great day trades, look at your alts, but hodling them, I'm not really sure about. Come on, we only need 7 more likes and we give away a VIP membership. I should have been screaming about that already, because now we might not get there because it's late in the stream. People lose interest quickly. Okay, so let's just reiterate this Bitcoin business here. All right, remember we've got these points of control above us. Okay, they're all in at around 97,630 to 97,687. They will be interesting. And then we've got a naked time point of control with the previous day's low here, maybe sweep below there, and then bring it back up. Those are going to be my first 2 points of interest for the week. And then as things start to shape up on Asia, we will have more to say, right? It is very important that we get over this 100K level. But once we do, we're going to be smacked in the face with another reality, which is around 102 to 103. And then if we can get past that, then we're going to come back into this big zone and start to look to test stuff. All right. This is a very interesting zone here, the 102, right? Because now we've also got a setup for a swing failure pattern here. And we also have this daily level here. All right. So quite a bit here for us to get through. Fresh daily level. Potential swing failure pattern here. Be very aware of that. All right, swing failure pattern in the golden pocket. Sorry. That is a lie. That is a lie. Leading you astray. Hold on. Hold on a second. There it is, just below the golden pocket. All right, so pretty substantial is what I would say. Golden pocket in a support resistance zone, potential swing failure pattern, also this daily level. All right, so we could get a big wick and then a big shot down there. Okay. Wow, we're gonna be six legs shy. 6 legs shy. We're gonna start promoting that at the beginning of the stream. That's what we're gonna do, Mr. Andy. Beginning of the stream, we'll do a giveaway. Only once a week though, only on the Sunday stream. That's how we'll do it. 1 a week. All right. So that's pretty much it. Like there's so it's not a huge emotional stream. I'm sorry. I know everybody wants to be pumped up and riled up. But just remember, emotions will get you wrecked. All right, this ain't a drama class. It ain't a drama class. So yeah, be safe, be well. I'll post some of this up during the week as it's coming along. We've also got our big 104 zone up here. All right, this interesting little zone here, which is also on a daily level. So we're going to keep an eye on that as we approach this. I won't delete this. It's going to stay right there with our little fixed range volume profile and those 2 high volume nodes, and we'll see how we get reaction to that. All right, so only 9 likes, no VIP giveaway, but we will do one next Sunday as well. See how that goes. So that's going to do it, guys. I will see you in the VIP stream later on this evening, 6:30. And that'll be that, man. You guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you soon.